what's up everybody? Welcome back to another set of Genshin reactions. Today we have a comment from, and they want me to get to Eccentric Reception and Metaphor for Calamity, so I will be getting to both of those back to back. I'll be doing my thing where I play one, gap it, play another one, and talk about them in between. And the only information I was given is that they're Harbinger themes, so I get Dottore, I believe. Dottore? One of the two, and El Capitano. So I'm going to be listening to both of those themes and seeing what they have to offer. Without further ado, let's go! Ah, getting that mysterious edge to it. I don't know this character even by name. I might have seen it once, but I've really got no hints. I know more about Capitano, so. Okay. Very intense immediately. Just getting big, important, but also very secretive. See, it's got that cadence, yeah, okay. This is somebody who carries themselves like this. At very least in personality. Very satisfying drop there. Whoop. Okay. I was wondering where that was gonna go. Leaning more into that, like, mysterious, sneaky edge. It's got a lot of suspense in it. Ooh. Mysticism. Mysticism and sneakiness are similar but not the same. Might have been a little bit wrong, or they're a bit of both. Yeah, there's certain collectives of notes that give different vibes. And that had both of the sneaky and also the mystic feel to it. So I feel like this person may be magical, but also like definitely secretive, probably very important, has that presence to them, but I'll get more into that as we get into the next section. So while I was doing the reaction, something kind of made sense to me that I hadn't really thought of before. It's Italian, it's gotta be Dottore, and then that would make sense for Capitano, and then also Signora. I assume she must be related. She's the only one that I've met in the game and like have like that connection with. I've also listened to her themes forever ago, so like now that's all kind of connecting. So this must be one of the people inside the Fatui. Like that's all I really have information on. I haven't dug that deep into it. I might have seen a cinematic with them all involved at some point, but it was probably a year ago. Point being, now it makes sense. It's Dottore. So, okay, yeah, yes, I get it. But also, yes, the theme. I think I nailed it. If that's the case, it would totally make sense that if it's, you know, the whole Fatui thing, they're very secretive. That tracks. Every character I've seen related to the Fatui have this fucking arrogance to them, so that tracks. And the magical, mystical thing I was getting out of it could just be because it's, of course, from Genshin, and they have, like, magic and such in that world. Spiritualism is also very, very prominent there, so it's very possible that it's just all referring to that. It doesn't necessarily have to be super pointed to the character, I suppose, but it most likely is if it's a character theme. So all of these little like flecks of information I've built over the years and through my past month playing the game are all making sense here. It's also just weird to hear it all in one, because while I've heard other themes like Senora's, this one just has a little bit more bite to it. Like he's like, yeah, fuck you. Like he's just such a pompous dickhead. I have no clue how accurate that is, but I feel like, at least in my experience from the Fatui, most of them are douchebags. So you know what? It's making sense. I do love that in addition to everything I had already said about this song, the fucking trumpets, they are so prominent. They're blaring. They're so aggressive in this song. And that is kind of what gave me the vibe that this dude is probably just a bleeding asshole. Like if you've ever been in school band or some collective of orchestra, you know, and this is coming from a percussion person, so, you know, keep that level, but every trumpet is basically an egocentric dickhead. And I was friends with a couple of the trumpets, do not get me wrong. There's obviously exceptions there, but the majority of them just felt like they were the centerpiece of the band. And there's this ego that comes with a trumpet blaring because it's so piercing. It's got that presence to it. It kind of cracks through everything else and really makes its way through the mix. So when you have something that's so obvious like that in a song like this, reflecting somebody that the theme is otherwise framing as somebody who's big and important, you're like, oh yeah, they're very proud of themselves, I guess is kind of what my brain's getting at here. There's not much more detail to say about this one because they nailed all of those emotions that I mentioned earlier. Those mentions of mysticism and secrecy, like all of that is very well done, and they just, again, played that very well. I think the specific thing that separates the mysticism and then the secrecy to me is that there's like this light-hearted bounce to a secrecy theme or something that's supposed to be a little sneaky and quiet. Think in the Hall of the Mountain King, for example, if you know that, that's very, you know, like bouncy, but it's supposed to be energetic and kind of sneaky. At the same time, this didn't really have that. It had a little bit more of this like trailing energy to the back end of every note, like things were being kind of twinkled instead. It had some extra details, some extra notes that largely and wouldn't have otherwise been there unless they want to make it feel a little bit like there's an energy escaping, like trickling outward, which is definitely an imagery you get when you think magic. So I think mysticism kind of works with all of that. And again, the secrecy thing just kind of has this bounce to it that you can't really fight. It's just there and you're like, ah, I see you, you little bitch. Like it's just in the energy and in the DNA of the song. But yeah, it definitely makes sense now that I've kind of put all the pieces of the puzzle together for the whole Fatui relation. So I think they did a very good job here. I think I'm very confident on that one as well because I put all those pieces together. Glad I did, because otherwise I would be assuming they're from a completely different area or part of the game. So I kind of lucked out with that little bit of information about the Harbingers being related to each other, because honestly, again, haven't really gotten that deep into the game for it to be like a huge thing for me yet. So it's just nice to realize that I'm learning as I go. But I think I should get to metaphor now, so let's go hear what Capitano has, shall we? Ooh. Oh, that's definitely a different presence. Yeah, there's a darkness to this one. Much more haunting. God, sitting on that tonic at the bottom, just laying on that, leaning really hard into that bass note. See, there's still an importance to it, but it's so much more simple, grounded. But it has so much God, it's so dark. It's more like a horror theme. So when I said I knew Capitano a little bit better earlier, I didn't know him this well, and this kind of changes my perception of what the character is, because I haven't met Capitano like in my game. I haven't met them at all. I've only met Signora, so it's like, okay, I don't really have much to go off of other than what people have said in comments. That's about all I've got. So this gives me a completely different perspective of the character. Like I said, there is a presence to this song, but it's a lot darker. It's haunted by something. It has not the sneakiness of the last one, and definitely not the ego of the last song. They're definitely completely different characters, just in music alone. This one feels like somebody who's almost like forced into it. Like they don't feel like they want to be there. They're doing it for the greater good, but not the greater good you're thinking of, where it's like, oh, for all the better people, you know. It's very much like they're doing it almost because they were forced into that and they don't want to be there. This has this air to it, like the person isn't into it. Like they don't want to be here. They're not haunted by their rich friends telling them to do stuff and deciding they might as well, you know, just to save face. This is somebody who I don't believe wants to be here to do this, whatever it may be. I know a little bit of what the Fatui are trying to do in the game, but I don't have all of the information. It's a very sparse bit of information that I've got. So this makes me wonder if Capitano doesn't want to be doing what the Fatui are doing and is just kind of doing it because basically if he starts showing his true colors and his true opinions, he would be completely ostracized if not killed. It's almost like a threat, like you are going to stay here, sit in that chair because we need your presence and your pull in the political field more than we need you alive. You know what I mean? Like it almost feels like a threat. It has this intensity, like they obviously want you to believe that Capitano has some degree of influence, but also that darkness on it makes me feel like the character is haunted to the point where they don't want that job, basically. And that's an interesting thing to do for a character in a group that is largely, from what I can tell, just trying to ruin things for everyone else in the greater good format, where it's like, oh, who are the greater good, you know? It's the people sitting at the table with you, not the collective of the people around the world. And I believe that Capitano, just gauging off of this theme alone, maybe doesn't agree with that. Maybe Capitano wants there to be a better solution and is kind of like the sole person on this team fighting for that better tomorrow, but like doing his own version of it in secret despite sitting at the table with the enemy. Not like a double agent thing so much as he has his very firm belief in what he wants to do that actually aligns closer with everybody who's against the Fatui. But the rest of the Fatui are not for what he truly wants, and he just keeps his mouth closed. You know, like, I hope that's clear. I hope I'm not just yapping here. I'm getting a lot from this theme, which happens sometimes, but this changed my entire perspective in one moment of what this character might have been. I hadn't gotten really any information other than little bits and pieces, and it was never enough for me to make a true call about what the character's personality is like, and this theme did a lot for me. I have no clue if any of it's correct. I don't know, man. This one's definitely kind of getting to me. I'm trying to think of the best possible way to phrase it, but I think that was probably it. Just that I feel like Capitano probably does have ulterior motives, but also for the sake of his own people maybe, or for the sake of his own ideals, like I said, that are slightly different from either party, but feels like he's kind of the good guy sitting at the bad guy table in that theme where he's surrounded by the enemy, so his theme would kind of reflect this darker mentality of wanting to do something, obviously not doing it the proper way. It's not a heroic theme necessarily, but it's scary. And that's what's giving me that thought that he's kind of hiding his true intentions because somebody, and probably everybody around him, does not necessarily agree. But at the same time, how deep does that go? How hard is that going to be to make true? So I guess that's kind of my final guess there, is that Capitano has something else going on and isn't really fully aligned with either side, almost like a neutral party, I suppose, in there. Like maybe lawful evil, if you had to pick an alignment, something like that, where everyone else is a little bit more towards the true or chaotic evil side of things at that table, and he's more just like, no, I want things to happen, and sometimes bad things need to happen for good things to happen, and there's kind of that settlement there, and he's just, you know, the one to make that decision. And that makes me humanize Capitano a little bit and kind of think of the Fatui in a different way, because again, I don't have that much information on him, but the ones I've met have all kind of been dickheads, and I've only met Signora, and then everyone else has been like a grunt and are just seemingly infatuated with themselves and their own ideologies, which I've never been a fan of anyway. So it's just like, okay, well, we all need to listen and talk, and that feels more like what Capitano's trying to be, but nobody wants to agree with him because he's either seen as evil by one side or a traitor by the other. What can you do? So I guess that is my guess there. Let me know how accurate I am on both of these, of course. I love reading little lore dumps. I'm not afraid of spoilers and such if you're going to be worried that I'm going to be spoiled. I like lore stuff. I like it when people drop those. I love reading them, regardless if I'm playing the game or not. Does not matter. I always like to read them. I'm much more of a journey, not destination person, so when people give me lore dumps, I'm like, hell yeah, let's see where things are going to go. Sometimes it gets me more interested in the lore, and I want to do more with the game, so by all means, let me know if I was correct, or whatever other details you want to share down below, or if you have another song from Genshin you want me to get to next time, by all means, drop that down in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. But if you don't want to do any of that, you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!